This is an HSC podcast hosted by students and for the students, where we talk about all layers of your well-being.
The views and expressions said in this podcast episode belong solely to the guests of this episode. They do not represent one structure or population as a whole. If you are concerned for yourself, a friend, or a fellow HSC student, please reach out to the care team at 817-735-2570, and they can help you navigate your crisis.
Welcome to the brand new student-led podcast from the Be Well team. I'm your host, Dhruvi Pradhan, a second-year student at the School of Public Health, and this is my co-host, Sophia Brockman.
Hi, I'm Sophia. I'm with the Office of Care and Civility. I serve as our student services specialist, so I do a lot of our compliance programming, social media management, and now I get to co-host with Dhruvi.
Today, we're talking about working with others, another HSC domain from the Be Well initiative. We aren't meant to go through this world alone, and individual well-being doesn't occur in a vacuum. Relationships, both personal and professional, are integral parts of being human. This domain aims to help you understand how you view the world and how this perspective can shape your relationship with others. And today, we have a very special guest joining us, Maggie from TCOM. Maggie, would you mind introducing yourself to our listeners?
Yeah, my name is Maggie Yip. I am a second-year medical student at TCOM, Texas College of Osteopathic Medicine, for anyone who doesn't know. And I am interested in preventive medicine, lifestyle medicine, and fitness and health. I have been a fitness instructor for 4 years now, since before med school began, and that is absolutely my deepest passion in life. Which is to bring fitness and the joy of movement to others. So, yeah, that's a little bit about me.
Oh, I second that because I've attended one class, and trust me, my muscles was sore. It was a year ago in the Be Well week, and we attended that one class. I was in the auditorium in the Met, and we were all so happy and smiling before it. Through it, I was like, how does she do it? I can't breathe.
Oh, my gosh. I remember that.
It felt so good, though. After that, we were like, we should go to our classes more often. But we were so late all the time because it was super full. And we're like, we missed it again.
Aw, well, I miss you there. I hope to see you.
We're graduating soon.
Oh. Okay, that's a valid excuse.
We're graduating. Okay, so before we dive deeper into the topics we're going to talk about today, let's start with a few icebreaker questions.
Sure.
Okay, so the first one, what is your word of the day?
My word of the day would be trust. Yeah.
Ooh, that's actually really cool. I mean, I'm like, ooh, I never thought of that. Okay, so what would be your intention for the day?
Find purpose in whatever I do. Whether that's studying or getting a cup of coffee, there's purpose in it. There's meaning in it.
Oh. All right, and lastly, what is one self-care item that you've prioritized for today?
I am really into dance cardio fitness lately. So I did a dance cardio workout this morning, and that was my self-care item.
Okay. So thank you for sharing all these 3 wonderful things with us today. So let's start with your unique combination of roles. You're a med student, and you also, train at the fitness center. And I'm pretty sure there are a lot of other things that you juggle between, right? So how has teaching these classes, like these bar classes that you teach, how has it helped your college experience be, better? And how does it bring people together?
Yeah, teaching fitness in general, and I've taught a lot of random things throughout my years of teaching. I've taught a Pilates-inspired workout, yoga, bar, and currently I teach bar and yoga only. And truly, teaching these movement classes has not only made me a better person to myself, but has truly made me a better person to others. I have so much more energy to uplift others and to be with others and to have meaningful conversations with others when I'm doing when I know that I'm still partaking in my passion and doing what I love, which is teaching others fitness. So, yeah, it's really made me realize the profound impact that movement can have on building and maintaining a community of like people who they share the same values. Like, yeah, I hope that answers your question.
Definitely. I understand that. I mean, I think that's how we form groups, right? Even in universities or even outside. It's like you just, go with people who have the same hobbies. So I understand when you come with like, yes, you build a community when you're just working out together.
Yeah.
And that helps. I mean, I see a lot of people working out alone, but when I used to go to the gym, it was always the friend.
Yeah.
So it just helps. There's someone who's spotting you, or there's someone to motivate you, and you're like, one more set. Come on, you got this.
It's so true. I totally agree. And that's why I love group fitness. I just feel like it's not just fitness. It's truly a collective experience where all of y'all are just like bouncing energy off of each other, and that's just my favorite part, truly.
I know that because when we attended the class, throughout the class you were smiling and you were motivating us to be like, come on, you got this. It's like one more set, we're there. You can feel the burn, but it's a good burn, right?
It's a good burn. It's a good sweat. I always like to say that. Feel the burn, embrace it.
I know.
I feel like because you're part of, is it Rural Health Initiative? Is that the student group?
Oh, no, I'm not. Oh, Refugee Health Initiative. Yes, RHI.
I'm like, the R is going to stand for something. I know it. But do you like take that same mindset when you're kind of tackling those issues within that group? Is it still like a community effort, or do you find like in a patient care setting, you're focusing more on like the individual experience rather than like community help? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I definitely think, at least for my experiences in Refugee Health Initiative clinics, which are like these free clinics that anyone can go to that we usually hold on Saturdays, that definitely takes such a team effort. Every time I volunteer, we have to use like Google Translate a lot for interpretation just because there are so many languages that the patients speak. And we're working with other TCOM students and then the physician who, is precepting for us. And everyone is collaborating with everyone. Like one person's doing physical exam, the other person is like taking the soap notes and everything. And yeah, that definitely, like, yes, we're individualizing the approach, the care to the patient, but it takes a collective team effort in order to individualize the approach.
I love that. I think I'm on hot ones. Sorry.
Yeah. No, that's fine. That's actually like a really good follow-up.
I'd love that.
Like, hey, who's hungry? But, I do love that. I mean, what she said, you see that a lot in clinical, but also you see that a lot behind the scenes too, like with us as public health students. Because we need like a lot of help from other people to actually, tailor the program for that community or that particular group set of people. So I understand that, and that's really nice to know coming from different perspectives, because from us we just look at people as a whole.
Yeah.
But for medical students or for doctors, you look at an individual first and then you look at the people. So it's like just the flip side of the coin.
Yeah, and not to mention the relationship between public health and medicine, so interchangeable. I mean, like, everyone learns this from the get-go. And if you don't know what like social determinants of health are, like, where are you at? You're right. It's like behind the scenes, the collective effort of like public health and medicine and so many other like healthcare professionals. There's so much going on.
I know, there's so much going on. Okay, so we talked about you balancing different acts, and now let's go now let's talk about emotional intelligence. So as a doctor or as a medical professional.
Yeah, I try, like, at least how my medical training has influenced my, has influenced how I teach in fitness and how I interact with patients. My training has definitely made me more aware of what students might be going through in my fitness class, whether that's physical or mental health issues. And I know that when you are experiencing a physical or mental health issue, that can definitely affect your ability to enjoy anything that you do. So I do always try to remember that during every class. Like, for example, I will always try to provide different options or modifications for any movement we're doing so that someone who, might have a sprained ankle or their wrist might be hurting a little bit more, or they might just be going through something mentally or emotionally, they're able to have those different options that will fit their needs at that particular moment, especially for new people who might not be as familiar with the type of movement in my bar sculpt classes. And I also try to always remember names in my class so that I can cheer them on throughout class, again, especially if they're a new person. And I do try to personally introduce myself to everyone, every student that walks in, and talk to them after class to see if they have any questions, comments, or concerns. And that's the same approach I have when I interact with patients. Like, try to get to know them way beyond what they came in for, which I guess can be good, can be bad, depending on if you're in an acute or chronic type of situation. But yeah.
Yeah, I've noticed you do that. I always admired that you'd walk, like, students would come on to, like, I would be, like, Medicinal Garden or, like, the Met Lawn last week, and Maggie would just walk right up to them and be like, "Hi, I'm Maggie. Like, I'm your yoga instructor today." And it was always just, like, you could always see, like, the person kind of shedding, like, the insecurity or the fear off, which was always really nice. But do you notice, like, because burnout is such a huge problem, especially among, like, healthcare professionals, do you find, like, you use, like, your fitness or, like, your, workout or, like, just an active lifestyle to kind of combat those symptoms, especially, like, when you look at compassion fatigue as it relates to, like, empathy in your patients there?
Yes, I definitely use fitness as, like, that's definitely my biggest form of self-care, I would say. It truly is just my passion. And when you're passionate about something, you will prioritize that. That's with any passion, you will prioritize that. That will, like, knowing that I can move my body and knowing that I'm healthy enough to move my body in ways that I want to move it is such a huge gift, in my opinion. And it's something I will never take for granted. So that is something that definitely, what was your question? That's just something that helps me a lot.
Burnout. That's what she was talking about.
Oh, like, yeah. It helps me prevent burnout for real.
Like, especially mental burnout. Like, I know I say this to my friends a lot, that the library is full of TCOM people. I don't understand. Do they even go back home?
I know. 3 a.m. TCOM person, bam.
So, like, they're studying there nonstop, like 24/7. And then I see you at the fitness center. I was like, how does she do that? Does she not get, like, burnt out, like, mentally, physically? Because it's like, I know I get burnt out, and I'm not even studying as much as you guys do. But it's kind of inspiring in a way, because I started going to the gym and I see you there sometimes, and I'm like, she's right there. I'm going to work out today, and like, this is it. Today is going to be a good day, and I'm going to start going to the gym every day.
I love that. And I will say, like, going to the gym, working out, at least for me, it's again, not just a workout. It's not just to make my body look a certain way or get this muscle to pop or whatever. Like, it really is, so much of that is the mental health component. And knowing that, at least, like, I don't know about you, but, like, I've never felt bad after working. I've never regretted a workout,
Definitely.
So I know, like, I keep that in mind every time, because there are days where I'm like, oh, I have so much on my plate. I can't, like, I don't want to spend this much time at the gym or whatever. But then I think about the outcome, right? And think, I know I'm not going to regret it if I do it. And I know in the end I'll be okay at the same time. Whatever test I'm studying for or whatever. So, yeah, just always trying to think about the feeling you get afterwards.
Well, I think that's such a great, like, because you don't have to work out for, like, 30 minutes or an hour consecutively.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like, you can go for a 10-minute walk. You
Exactly.
can do 5 minutes of stretching.
Yes.
It builds up on itself.
Yes.
And so that's something I have to remind. I'm like, you can go for the 15-minute walk right now.
Yes.
Like, sometimes you have to tell yourself it's okay to go take a 15-minute walk.
Yeah.
Studies can wait for 15 minutes. That
Exactly.
15 minutes is your time. Go take it.
It is okay to take care of yourself. Yes. I will scream it at the top of my lungs. It is okay.
Now let's talk about building networks and support systems. So I want to know that what part of teaching fitness has been like rewarding for you when in terms of building a network, building like, a community, just like a group of people that you hang out with, talk with. How does that help?
Yeah, when I'm teaching, the most rewarding part of that is truly just building these relationships with my students and seeing people come back and seeing them improve, again, physically or mentally. Like, there have been times where students have disclosed some more personal reasons of why they come to class. And, like, it's such an honor to be able to have someone tell me things that they wouldn't, that that not everyone knows, and tell me such personal things and trust me with that information. And that, like, building those relationships, again, really just allows me to connect with people more in ways that I would not be able to if I, wasn't in that collective experience with them teaching fitness.
Mm-hmm. But do you feel sometimes that if they, like a lot of people share, personal stuff with you, which is great, but do you feel that it gets to you sometimes? Like, a lot of people sharing a lot of things with me. I have my own things to do. So do you feel like it sometimes like weighs you down? Or is it like, how do you maintain that? More like compartmentalize. Like, I'm here for you. I'm listening to what you're saying. But how do you not let it affect you?
Yeah, that's a really hard line to toe. Is that it? To toe? Yeah. Because that's something that happens not only in like my fitness classes and teaching students, but also just being a medical student and hearing patient stories. That, I think it's just, you just have to set those boundaries, those mental boundaries, and it just takes practice, honestly. It just takes more experience with different people and knowing, also, being knowledgeable about like what resources can help people if whatever issue that they come with you is too much for you to deal with. Because in the end, you aren't their therapist, unless you really are. But you aren't their therapist. And you have to set that boundary and know that, okay, maybe I can't help you completely, but here are ways that I've found that can possibly help you.
I understand that because sometimes it's just you get so invested in someone else's problem and then you're like, don't forget that is not your problem.
Yeah.
You're okay. And you should just knowing when to tell them that, hey, it's time you reach out to someone else. Like sometimes you feel bad, but I feel like it's important for your mental health too,
Yes.
You can't just be like, dump everything on me. Okay, great. But also to just tell them that, hey, I think it's time you reach out to other people and not feel bad about it in the end. Because I feel like a lot of my friends have said that to me, that if someone says or someone shares something with them and they'll be like, I feel so bad for saying this.
Yeah.
I'll say, please don't. No, you shouldn't feel bad for just saying that, hey, today's not my day. I cannot listen to you today. Or today I'm going through my own things,
Yeah.
So maybe some other time.
Yeah. One of my closest friends actually recently just told me something that, like, changed how I viewed kindness. But she said that kindness is only genuine if there are boundaries. And I've never heard that before until she told me.
That's deep.
Yeah,
that's deep.
Like the conversation we're having right now, I genuinely think that applies. That kindness, like, you got to be, kindness is about being kind to yourself as well, not just giving yourself away to everyone, but not being fulfilled yourself. So boundaries are important.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Boundaries are always important. And also how valuable these connections are that we make, right, with people we're surrounded by, be it friends, be it with professors, even with your students. And these various roles that you're playing, what challenges have you faced in maintaining that balance between your studies, between your teaching, between self-care?
Yeah, being in medical school can be hard.
Amen to that.
Woo. Say it louder for those in the back. No, like my first semester of medical school was so overwhelming. It wasn't just the schoolwork. It was my own personal stuff. And I thought during that time that like because it was so overwhelming, I was like, okay, I'm not going to teach any fitness classes. I need to, get my academics together and then I'll teach. But honestly, I realized that hurt me in the end because again, like fitness is my self-care. It is my passion and the thing that keeps me going. So that's when I started teaching my second semester of med school and onward and still now. Even then, I've been able to maintain a better balance with teaching fitness and medical school and self-care and volunteering and all of that. But it's still, it definitely is still challenging at some times, especially when there are so many things to do. There's like a test on Friday and then a quiz on Monday or something. I just take it day by day. I really do. I have a written planner I do that I put down what I want to do for that day. And if I accomplish all that, then it's okay. I'm not going to go ahead from that. You know what I mean? So yeah, having that personal planner really does help me navigate the challenges of trying to balance everything.
Lauren and I talk about the assistant director of Be Well. We talk a lot about how when students feel, and really anybody in general, when they feel overwhelmed or they're overburdened by schoolwork or professional work or family life, whatever, we often drop the self-care.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have time for that. That's not a priority. When in reality, that has to be almost your top priority because otherwise, you're going to get burnt out. You're going to have those symptoms of depression, anxiety. And so a lot of times people are like, I'll pull an all-nighter. And if you follow our Instagram, you'll know how we feel about that one. Cute Kevin Hart meme.
Yeah. I mean, this is so cliche, but your health is your wealth. We take our health for granted until something happens. It's like whenever you take smelling and eating for granted. And then when you're sick and you can't do that, you're like, wow, I really missed the smell of chicken or something.
Exactly. I can't taste anything.
Yes.
Okay, COVID.
Been there, done that.
Then COVID happens and then you're like, I can taste anything, can smell anything.
I love those tweets where it's like, all right, guys, y'all were right. I went on a walk and I'm doing a little bit better now. It's sometimes it's very small little self-care.
Exactly.
It doesn't have to be your whole day.
Yeah.
Probably shouldn't be your whole day.
5 minutes are good too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just
for sure.
Get up, walk around and be like, I needed that break. Breathe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I would say do something you love every day. Whether that's eating or eating. I love eating. Or whether that's walking or just, watching a YouTube video.
Mm-hmm.
Do something you love every day. It helps.
Do you a designated day off every week? Do you give yourself, I just have to focus on making it through today?
I don't have a designated day off every week, but I will always make time for myself every day.
That's good. Ooh. Yeah.
Usually, sometimes it'll be during lunch or something, just eating without my phone or anything.
You're like, nobody talk to me. I'm in.
Yeah, or eating outside is a big one. Studying outside, laying on the lawn.
Studying outside is my self-care item for the day.
Sometimes it has to be like that. But whatever you do, do something you love. And I love being outside. And so I count that, Just do something you love every day.
That's true. So we talked about the struggles of, balancing all of these wonderful things that you do. So let's talk about some insights that you've gained about the link between positive relationships and personal well-being.
Ooh.
So, care to share some insights with us today?
Yes. Positive relationships and personal well-being. Well, building and maintaining meaningful relationships is everything. Literal research shows that good, healthy relationships is a key part to sustaining a healthy sustaining a physically and mentally healthy life. And yeah, just I love to build relationships with my students and my patients because to me, like, at least in the fitness world, to me, like, again, a fitness class is not just a fitness class. It really is a collective experience where we bounce off each other's energy. And in turn, we are better people for that. And so, like, not only, I'm a better person, but I'm hoping that the person who came to my class feels more energized to take on whatever else they need to take on throughout that day. So, and same with building positive relationships with patients. Again, that does include boundaries and, knowing when to say no. And in turn, if you can have these positive relationships with other people and these healthy relationships and maintain it, that, like, naturally will, in my opinion, just make you a better person mentally and emotionally.
Sometimes when you have, like, I wouldn't say negative relationship, but more like when you're not on good terms with somebody, you see how it affects you.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, it makes you feel so burdened on the inside because you're just not on good terms with that person.
Yeah.
And maybe for whatever reason, even if it's for the tiniest thing, like holding grudges really makes you feel bad. I mean, on the inside.
It does.
It's just, it's not I feel bad I did that for that person, but I was like, I don't know, I don't feel good today.
Yeah. It's not just, holding grudges is so, it just drains your energy. It dampens everything.
Exactly. And I was like, it's easier said than done. Like, it's hard to not hold grudges when you're like, that's just unfair. You couldn't do that to me.
Mm-hmm.
But also I feel like it's okay to just voice your problem with that person.
Mm-hmm.
Just tell them what the issue is. Instead of keeping it inside and be like, that wasn't fair. Why would you do that to me?
Mm-hmm.
It's more like just, hey, I had a problem. How about we talk about this, or if this is the issue, if we know we cannot handle it, then let's just go separate ways. I guess it needs a certain kind of maturity to reach that part.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Yeah. A certain type of maturity and also a certain, like, level of honesty with yourself and the other person. Like, yeah, people just need to be more honest with themselves. That includes myself. Like, I'm not saying I'm excluded from that. We all just need to practice a little more honesty with ourselves.
Was that something like you learned, like, on your own, like how to build those positive relationships while maintaining well-being? Or is there, like, a faculty or past, like, mentor who kind of modeled that for you? Or, like, kind of a mix where you're like, I'm going to take this aspect of you and this aspect of me, and we'll see how it goes?
Yeah, I definitely would say throughout my life I've had a lot of people who have taught me a lot about what it's like to have these positive relationships and how, like, having positive relationships can help maintain and elevate your personal well-being. I will shout out one of my closest friends. Her name's Fatima Ship Chandler. She's a family medicine resident physician right now in Seattle. And she's the one who told me that kindness quote. And she definitely has helped me so much throughout. I met her in undergrad back in Houston, and she has helped me so much with navigating medicine, but also navigating, like, how to keep your personal well-being and your mental health in check throughout this entire medical journey.
But no, I think because, I have friends that growing up I was always, you get jealous and you never know how to, like, regulate the jealousy.
Yeah,
true.
And I feel like, I had to hit a point in undergrad where I was like, okay, girl, like, what is your problem? Like, and, once I changed the mindset from, like, ugh, I hate that they have that to how do I also achieve that?
Yeah.
It was very, like with grudges, like, it was just a weight was lifted off my shoulders. Like, do you find, like, going back to, like, modeling or, like, trying to mimic somebody, do you find, like, that is something that you have to kind of keep reminding yourself of, especially in such a competitive program as TCOM?
Yes. I always say that's, like, one of my biggest mental struggles of all time. Just comparing myself to others. Like, there's this quote that I always have to keep reminding myself, which is, other people's successes are not your losses. But it's so hard to, like, it's easier said than done, truly. Especially when you're in medicine and, everyone's vying for a residency spot and trying to vie for research and all that, leadership club, all that. Like, it is very hard And I always have to keep reminding myself, like, I am happy for my friends. I want to see them succeed. We're not, like, we are competing, I guess, but we're not competing at the same time. Like, we're all going to be doctors, like, including, you know, any profession. You are going to be whatever you're going to be. It's just a matter of, like, the journey to get there. But everyone's journey is unique, so it's okay if your journey doesn't look like the other person's. And that truly, and again, like, that's something I have to keep reminding myself and, like, meditate on, honestly.
Ooh, I heard meditation. Do you meditate often?
No, I don't. But that's something I would love to just make a habit. I've tried it so many times, but it's just so hard for me to quiet down my mind. It's so hard.
I feel you. Like, I've tried so many times just to, like, even shut your mind to even go to sleep sometimes.
Yes.
It's so hard.
Yes.
So you constantly thinking about what you need to do the next day.
Yes.
About, you know, the assignments that's due
Yes.
in 3 days. So you're like, how do you just quiet down your mind before you even go to sleep? Like, is there something you do?
Oh, I'm in the same boat as you. I don't. I feel like my mind, at least before bed, it doesn't go to, like, the assignments I have. It more goes to, like, my past.
Oh, yeah, anxiety.
Past mistakes or well, not mistakes, but past, like, things that have happened or, like, past relationships or, like, severed ties, stuff like that. And I'm just like, I wonder what's happening. I wonder how they're doing. Oh my gosh, like, I remember when I said that. Why did I say that? That's so stupid. Just like little things like that.
Like 3 days ago at dinner, I said that. Why?
Yes.
Yeah, I still think about things from like 5 years back, and I'm
Yes.
like, I doubt anybody in that room
Yes.
like cares
Remembers
about me right
anything.
now.
Yes.
But I think one of the best things I've learned, because I'm not used to, like, really not like meditation, because I was like, I can't just sit still and just, like, let my body, like, absorb and release all of the nervous energy. But I like Headspace a lot because I tend to fall asleep during their sleep meditations, and that's what I need.
Hey, it's a sleep meditation.
But, literally. But one of the best things I've learned is, like, you know, when we're trying to quiet our mind, quote unquote, like, we're pushing a dam against the thoughts. And, like, that's making you more anxious, more, like, riled up. And so, like, when you kind of, like, release it and open the door, just kind of let your thoughts come and go as they are and don't fight them, it's much easier to, like, kind of drift off. And whether that's, like, finding a positive thought or just, like, not thinking at all, just sitting there.
Or counting sheep. 1, 2.
Yeah. Something I have, that's like a great point, because something I have tried to just collect my thoughts a little bit more or collect my emotions a little bit more is like, if I feel like I am so emotional at a moment, I will, like, keep rereading something, or I'll focus on something and keep, I don't know, counting it. Like, I'll count my fingers and just keep doing it. Or I'll count to 100 in my head and try not to lose it. Or, like, I'll even try to, like, sing a whole song in my head and try not to lose it at all.
Oh, that one's cool.
Like, I just
That
try
one's
to
actually pretty
focus on
cool.
something.
Pretty cool.
That's, like, a good, like, mantra almost to kind of, like, reset. It's a reset.
Yeah,
It's
like a reset.
It's a reset. Like, because some people usually have the habit of, you know, writing their emotions down or just what they're feeling 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And some people, like me, like to sketch them out.
Oh, I love that.
So I think everyone has, like, a different way to deal with, you know, how to go through that emotion at that point in time. I feel like and maybe some people just talk to other people.
Yeah.
That helps too. You know?
Oh, that definitely helps. Talk therapy, that's real.
All right. So we talked a lot about how you formed connections, right? So what advice or tips would you give to other students on forming these supportive connections that can, you know, help them just navigate through college life and also, like, you know, prevent burnout in the process?
I would say be intentional about who you spend your time with and who you spend your energy on. And surround yourself with people who make you a better person, and be mindful of the people who seem to drain your energy. Like, so that can look like if you're having a conversation with someone and repeatedly, every time you have a conversation with someone, you're like, wow, I actually don't feel great after this. Or like, that was a very negative talk. Or, man, I feel a little bit more down. Like, be mindful of that. And it's okay to cut people out of your life if they truly aren't serving your mental health or your purpose. Like, I mean, I'm a firm believer that, again, it's easier said than done. But yeah, definitely just be intentional about who you spend your time with and who, seems to elevate you or make you feel better. Just make you feel better, make you feel more joyful and more energized.
So are there like any other signs that you feel that, this is what is telling me that I should be aware of this person and not just like feel bad after a talk, but maybe something else?
Or vice versa, like what makes
yeah.
you like
Yeah.
want to spend more time with somebody? What draws you to somebody?
Yeah, I think if I'm talking to someone and they're like repeatedly again, it's very negative. Everything, it seems like they can't find the silver lining in anything, or there's no gratitude. That's like a big thing where it seems like they're just not grateful for anything in life, or seem to always focus on the negative aspect of whatever, like anything. Then that's at that point, that's not your problem anymore. Yeah, that's one. That's
Also
something.
probably like takers who just keep taking from you.
Yes, yeah.
And just don't give you when you need them. I feel like we see a lot of such people in our lives. Where they just keep, taking. Even your energy sometimes.
Yes,
You're like,
yes.
I need you to be present with me at this point. And then when you ask the same from them, they're more like, just never there.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, I had somebody in I had a suite mate like that
Oh.
in undergrad, and I kind of called her out on it. I was like, dude, you kind of got to get over this. I was like, you keep making these problems worse for yourself with your reaction. And they were like, I guess you don't want to be my friend. And I was like, okay. I was like, all right. That's not what I said, but okay.
Yeah, sometimes when someone is so fixed on like how they perceive things, I mean, what else can you do
Yeah, it was like that confrontation.
Accept that and be like, okay, if you don't want to even attempt to try to understand from a different perspective, then there's nothing more I can do for you.
Yeah, I always tell people, I'm like, I won't chase you. I'm like, that's too much effort on my part.
Yeah.
Like, no offense. But there's a million more of you out there.
That's such a good mindset to have, though. To the I won't chase you thing.
Yeah, I was like,
that's something I need to keep practicing.
Yeah, I mean, and I feel like that was something I learned at such a young age, just because, like you said, like through personal, whether it was like with family members or like friends or like even classmates. And it was something that, like, I woke up, again, like, I feel like I turned 18 and I had all these revelations about my life. And that was one of them where I was like, I'm not a huge fan of people to begin with. I'm in a very people-facing field. I understand. But I was like, I want easy people who are nice and happy and, like you said, grateful to be alive.
Gratitude's such a huge thing.
Grateful to be here. And so when people would kind of, and I feel like we, especially as like women, like there's stereotypes, of course, but like when you're little girls in middle school and girls are like, I'm going to kind of like try to compete with somebody for your friendship. And I was like, I'm good.
Not fun times. Not fun times at all.
And so, and I feel like, even, and that never really goes away. And I always hated it because like even like grad school, and I'm sure you experience, like, especially in such a competitive field like TCOM, where you're just like, I'm competing with you for this person's attention or like this spot.
Yeah.
And it's something where I'm just like, I'm going to keep doing me. And hopefully you do you over there. But, like, I don't chase. I'm like, it'll end up how it ends up. And that's...
It's like there's just a little amount of energy that you can give. Like, that's it. Any more, and I know I will be, like, drained.
Yeah.
You can't expect me to be, like, 100% cheerful and excited.
No.
Every time.
Exactly.
And that's like people have like social battery.
Yes,
like, hey,
yes.
Today, my social battery is 50%. I stay with you for an hour, then it's like, please let me be. I'm like, it's just me. Let me be holed up in my room. Let me just go on a walk on my own.
Yes.
I don't need a second person with me. And sometimes it's just hard for people to understand that. I feel it's hard to even explain to people why you are like that as a person.
Yeah, but the people who do understand that, those are the people to keep in life.
I agree to that.
Where can people find you? I know you got a couple Instagrams.
Just a couple.
Just a couple? Okay, that's news to me. All right, where can we find you? I'm going to follow you today.
Oh, thank you. I do have a fitness Instagram. It's at Move Well with Maggie. like move well with Maggie. Sorry, I was like, I don't know if my accent, like, yeah,
It'll be linked in the description.
So be linked. Thank you. I just post like photos for my classes and also updates of my classes and any other projects I'm working on fitness-wise and other random fitness-related stuff. And I'd love for you to see it.
You can also check out one of her little Move with Maggie, Flow with Maggie.
Yeah.
Anything with Maggie.
Anything. Do it all with Maggie.
Yoga practice on our HSC OCC YouTube page. We got a nice 30-minute one, a good introduction. And you're also at the FAC.
Yes. I currently teach one weekly class at the fitness center here at the UNT HSC community campus. And that is every Tuesday at 5:10 p.m. to 6 p.m. And it's included in your tuition. So
take advantage of it. That's what she's saying.
Exactly.
Like, be there. Also, just to add, her classes do fill up pretty soon. So make sure that you do reach her class like at least 10 to 15 minutes before time. So this was a great discussion. I appreciate you sharing your experiences with us.
Of course.
And if you have any final words of wisdom for our listeners, go ahead.
This
is the takeaway.
What is a yoga move? What's their yoga move
yoga
of the
move
day?
of the day.
Ooh, yoga move of the day. Okay. A good old warrior two.
Ooh,
just so powerful. Okay. Your body is opened up. Like I don't know how else to explain it.
We should include a picture.
Include a picture. But your body is opened up, your legs are open, your arms are open, and you just feel so powerful. I never not feel powerful when I'm doing Warrior 2. So do a Warrior 2 for today.
Once again, thank you, Maggie, for joining us. And a thank you to our listeners for tuning in. Remember, it's essential to prioritize your well-being while navigating the challenges of, just being a student. See you next episode.
That's a wrap. Thank you, guests, for joining us in this impactful conversation. For our listeners at home, we appreciate you tuning in and hope you join us for the next episode. If you find the contents of this episode triggered or elicited a response, please reach out to Care Team at 817-735-2533.